God. They're early. And what is this? Are we streaming in 60 frames per second? We are.
Hell yeah.
Because why not? We had to do that. Didn't have to, but we were troubleshooting some technical issues that we were having with
Northern
we went
Exile.
on Northern Exile stream, which is great. The stream is up on his channel if you want to check that out. But I think tomorrow
The edited video.
the edited video drops.
Yeah.
Which will be pretty cool. He's really cool. Like that guy a lot.
Yeah, really good conversation.
Yeah.
Great questions.
Great questions.
conversation.
He had some questions, and also he took questions from like his Patreon, and they seem like smart gentlemen, just like yourselves. But how is it going, everyone?
What's up, boys?
We are just moving along with the Kickstarter. Spent the last couple of days polishing up the oyster. Got it in a very, very good state. Editing our last section, the final section.
Yep.
But it's way more useful, way more playable.
Yep. Thanks in no small part to our very helpful playtesters.
Yeah, very helpful playtesters. Tora has been invaluable. Lord Mateus was invaluable. And we're really excited to get this out to you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Jack McCarthy in the house saying, let's go.
What's up?
What's up? What's up? A gigantic underground complex of labyrinthine structures.
Dungeons.
Yep. Dueling Dragons Adventures saying, haters in shambles. That
You're
is
damn
correct. Right. And you have the same profile picture as Chronicles of Ares.
That's
Greg,
true.
So I'm assuming that's you. Doing his best Buford T. Justice impression.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either. Maliki in the house. How's it going? How's it going, Tora? It is going great.
Hell yeah.
That's right. We do have over 500 backers. I actually have not checked the number in a little bit. So why don't we do that right now?
We were over 16K earlier today. Which is awesome.
$16,301 with 503 backers and 20 days to go. We'll probably have more appearances on streams. We're going to be shilling this like crazy.
Oh yeah.
But it's mind blowing, and thank everybody for
awesome.
Thank you everyone for that has contributed. We got Bacon Gaming in the
Hell
house.
yeah.
We were over on his channel the other day.
Great conversation with him.
Yeah, go sub to his channel. It was great. Phantasmagoria saying, "Hey, found your videos to date very insightful, man. Hope you keep them coming." We also hope that Bacon keeps the videos coming. Rex Teal is here as well. He is also a playtester. He's in Tora's game right now, playing the Shucked Oyster. Bacon says he's working on some stuff, and the live streams should be weekly now. Nice. Yeah, get that schedule going. 500 backers. You're goddamn right.
Damn right.
I think you guys will enjoy it when the boys release it.
Yep.
I think everybody's going to enjoy it. It's
a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. I'm extremely proud of it. I fully believe that this is an S-tier module.
Yeah.
And it's been a big learning experience, and it's just a ton of fun. The axe conversion is going to be very different, though. We've run into some, not problems at all, but just some things where there's
challenges.
Interesting challenges with the way that we design some magic items in Shadowdark will not be compatible with how Axe works. So things will be different for you Axe players out there. It'll be a lot of fun. We got Eric in here. The Van, how's it going? Grognard TX is in the house. Good to see you, man.
Hell yeah.
Cannot wait to play some Battletech. I've been working on an Oyster-inspired auction house / museum. Been making great progress with the characters. Nice.
Hell yeah.
Very cool. Ryan Howard, I was watching his stream last night too, and he was saying how he thinks the type of module that we've done here with the Shucked Oyster is the future, and wants to do stuff like that. So that was awesome to hear. And I'm sure he's going to make some great shit with that too.
Oh yeah.
I feel so bad for one of my players. He's new to the hobby, and he wants to do things that aren't covered in the rules. He's playing a cleric and wanted to get into a battle of wills with another. Interesting. Which game? Early, you're damn right we are.
Yep.
Curse of Yig in the house.
What's up, man?
Cleric, I have to ad-lib this stuff, which is fine. Yeah, that is fine.
Yep. You're always going to have to ad-lib a little bit.
Maliki, not 1 minute early, 2 minutes early. We started at 8:28 according to our clock. The intro is awesome now.
Thank you,
Yes.
man.
Yeah, the intro. The first part of the book was the earliest part that we had written and was in most need of revision. And we had taken a couple of weeks off.
It's a lot cleaner now.
Yeah, a lot cleaner. Way more clear on exactly how to use the oyster, which is awesome. And we benefited greatly from taking a couple of weeks away from it and
Yeah.
coming back with fresh eyes. Squat bench deadlift is here. Good to see you, man. You know what? I'm just seeing Grognard's comment now, which means that we're in top chat, not live chat. This is not chronological. Okay, we are now in live chat. Been binging your streams for a few days. I'm delighted to have found it. Also love that you say thank you frequently as well as openly and directly. Manners maketh the man. Thank you. Yeah. And thank you for the comment.
You again.
Yeah, thank you for the comment.
Much obliged.
We really do appreciate all you guys. We couldn't be doing any of this stuff without our subscribers, and especially not with the core gang that shows up to all our live streams.
Yes. And it wouldn't be nearly as fun, even if we could.
Yeah, exactly. I received my copy of Mithras this week thanks to code BlackLodge15. Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, go to the Design Mechanism website if you guys are interested in any of their games. Mithras.
Which should be.
They're all based on Mithras, but
let us know what you think about it.
Yeah, let us know what you think about it. They have some of their stuff is not just settings. Like they have the Mythic setting series.
Yeah.
But they've also got like Luther Arkwright, which is a full game.
Right.
There's a couple. There's one.
After the Vampire Wars,
Lioness
is one. Lioness.
It's a Jack Vance world that has its own game now, thanks to the Design Mechanism.
A lot of good stuff.
Yeah, Black Lodge 15% off at checkout, and we do not get paid for that. We just
do not get paid.
Really like the Design Mechanism in their stuff. Buford T. Justice is the sheriff from Smokey and the Bandit, played by Jackie Gleason. Got it. It was the sheriff. Fucking big oys for the boys. How's it going?
Yeah,
Thank you, man. Mithras is awesome. Yes,
indeed it is.
And I cannot wait for our session 0
on Saturday,
followed by BattleTech.
Yes.
Are there any good werewolf games? One that doesn't involve furry Greenpeace activists? I think the answer is no.
Well, here's the thing. Because I know nothing about Werewolf the Forsaken.
That's correct, which is very different than Werewolf the Apocalypse.
But I literally could not tell you. I don't know anything at all.
And I have heard that, like the rest of the second edition line of Chronicles of Darkness, that it is much improved over first edition, which probably
likely
means
the case.
It's completely superior to Apocalypse. Primeval Fantasy, good to
What's up, man?
see you. I can now proudly say that I have BLG's back. Okay. Thank you. I don't know what that means.
Maybe he backed the Kickstarter.
Maybe he backed the Kickstarter. Yeah.
Well, whatever it is,
we
thank you for having our back.
Hey, Diego Borges, nice to see you. I don't know what this is. 07 Oi? No, I don't know. Bacon is a real G. Very
Indeed.
true. Very true. Brian's Game Night.
What's up?
How's it going? Oh, the chat just jumped. There we go. Lots of people saying hi. Buford T. Justice is the sheriff that chases the bandit and Smokey and the Bandit. Yep. Canucks Room is here.
What's
Poncho
up?
Goblin, how's it going? I heard Poncho may also be playtesting the Oyster now. Which would be pretty cool. Playing D&D 3.5.
Cool.
How weird. Showed up late because I figured they'd be late. This is so confusing. The fame has gone to your head. No, we've just had so many streams this week that we've just left the equipment up.
Yeah, right. That's why we're early.
Yeah, just had to press the button, basically. Lurker and Backer just wanted to say congrats to you both on your success. It's well-deserved. Thank you so much,
Thank you, man. Marzokeen. Is that a reference to Mazikeen from the Lucifer comic?
Oh, shit. We got John Smith. How's it going, man?
What's up?
Feel like I haven't seen you in a while. We will probably do an Austin meetup very soon, so if you are
now that
thinking of coming to
the campaign is... The
Yeah.
launch of the campaign is behind us.
is behind us. We'll
Yeah.
have a little bit more time to do stuff. So hopefully we'll see you in person again soon.
Hell yeah.
Rex Teal, I pitched the shucked oyster to my cousin, and I think he'll like it. He wants to try and set up an oyster shop because where the fuck are the oysters?
Where indeed?
My bad. Forgot to remind them to go to live chat. The thing is, like, it should just be in our standard stream settings now, but it's not. Oh god, they let Poncho Goblin in. You're damn right. Don't change your guys' schedule because I got off work right at this time. We will not. I hadn't looked in a while to see the total pledge. Hope to get a few more copies for friends closer to the end. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I'm hoping so too. Usually there's a big push on most of these at the end because they pump you up on the Kickstarter a lot more if you're in the last couple of days, and people have set up notifications and all sorts of stuff.
The people who haven't backed it yet don't want to miss it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we're certainly going to be talking about it more. We're not going to stop.
Right. Nothing can stop the oyster.
Absolutely.
I feel loved.
You should.
Good. You should. Hello, Common J. Kill. I'm not going to read your name. What drew you to make an
I admire
OSR
your
adventure?
spirit.
What drew you to make an OSR adventure, and what a nice change versus making something like a VTM adventure? Well, the thing was, we just had this idea because we made a video about Shadowdark. It's called Race to the Bottom of the Dungeon on this channel that you can go and check out, where we were going to compare OSE and Shadowdark to each other. And we started writing the video and found out we just didn't care and didn't want to talk about OSE. We had been writing the intro, like a funny intro, like from the perspective of a Shadowdark character. And that just became the whole video.
Which then became a 30-page PDF only product, and then became 50 pages, 100 pages,
100
200
pages,
pages.
200 pages. And with stretch goal content now,
Who knows?
much more. And there
Yeah.
will be more stretch goals.
Yes.
We will be announcing those likely tomorrow. But yeah, it was like the idea just really, really stuck with us. We couldn't get rid of it. And we really liked it. And so it just made sense.
It was
to
a really
continue.
good. Obviously, it was a good idea, but
Yeah.
it was an idea that really fit. Like you said, we couldn't get it out of our minds. It would definitely be very different than doing a VTM module,
Right.
For sure. In certain respects, not in the character-focused aspect, I would say, but certainly in the tone. Obviously, the mechanics, but
Right. And the reason we haven't and probably won't make any VTM content is that the licensing and way you sell those things on drive-thru is terrible.
needlessly and stupidly punitive.
Right. So they are their own worst enemies. If you are a game designer, keep everything open so people like us can make stuff for it, because that will help your game.
Yeah, that'll sell your game more.
Yeah. I picked up Mithras a couple days ago. Nice.
Hell
very,
yeah.
very cool. Glad to hear it. Common J. Nope, not saying that.
No, M space for
is
Mithras
pretty
as well.
interesting.
It is.
I haven't checked it out at all.
Dug too deep into it. It seems to be like a weird sci-fi. At least the feeling I get. I skimmed it years ago.
Yeah.
This kind of like liminal space thing, I think. Interesting concept. Although I'm not a fan of the format. If I remember correctly, it's this perfect square format. It's not portrait or landscape. I don't know why they did that, but
The Mythic settings are first rate.
indeed they are.
And we will be reviewing Mythic Babylon.
Yes.
Same, got my copy of Mithras 2. Noticed it was quite smaller than the DM RuneQuest book. Design Mechanism RuneQuest book.
RuneQuest 6.
Yeah, because they stripped out everything. Apparently, I heard they made the font smaller as well.
Maybe. I don't recall. I used to have the RuneQuest 6 book. I don't anymore. So
Yeah.
I couldn't speak to that.
Yeah, someone in the chat a while ago was saying that he prefers RuneQuest 6 almost only because the font is bigger. And it's much easier to read.
Got it.
But the font is not so small that it's like TechML.
Yeah, it's not. I was about to say.
It's not 8-point or whatever.
font.
Yeah. David Nixon in the house. You guys doing BattleTech Mech Warrior? Rad. Yeah, we're gonna play with Spencer. It's gonna be awesome. Mm-hmm. What is up?
What's
man?
happening, man?
Forsaken does not have the Greenpeace activists. Yes.
Good.
Werewolf. Yep, because he backed the Kickstarter. Thank you so
dude.
much. Sightsee Waker. I don't know how to say your name. Sorry about that, man. But hello, fellow Lynch lovers.
Yes.
We are big David Lynch
We need
fans.
Victor back to remind us how to correctly pronounce your name.
Right. Good evening, BLG. Always love hanging out in the live chats. Thank you. Glad to see you here.
Thank you.
A good werewolf TTRPG would probably be best one-on-one. Most of the good werewolf movies are about a single person. Yeah, it's a lone wolf. I wanted to play vampire set in the Caribbean, but then I remembered that I'm probably the only person who even knows the game on my island. You got to teach some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have all the power.
Shauner is listening while he eats in the kitchen.
Nice.
Good to see you, man. I did tune in to one of your streams the other day, but you were just dead silent playing Skyrim. So I stopped watching.
Perfectly immersive experience.
Right. How's it going, Broken Blade? Good to see you, Kyle.
Oh, what's up, man?
I heard Battletech and perked up, as did I. I love mechs, and I'm very excited to play, though I think we're probably going to lose very badly.
I have never played it. I have no idea what to expect, but it should be cool.
Poncho Goblin's playing a priest named Joseph Smith in Tora's game. Oh, it's a salute. Of course it is. Thank you. I understand now. Which is on point for the game, yeah. You said which setting book was your favorite for Mithras? Britain?
My favorite is Mythic Constantinople, but Mythic Britain is excellent.
I have not read any of the Mythic settings yet. The Kickstarter is going great.
Yeah.
It's very, very exciting. We're hoping to break through a little bit more, too, which will be pretty cool. Been crazy busy at work, but would happy to make another trip out to Austin. Would love to see you, man. Yeah. Hell yes. Totally try to make it up for the Austin meetup, I-35 willing. That would be awesome. The chat jumped. There we go. It just smells like an oyster. Common mistake. Yeah. Shape Take is here. How's it going, man? I awoke and my hair had turned gray, except that I'm bald. Thus, only my eyebrows did. Marcy Dotes. Dozy Dotes.
Dozy Dotes.
Yeah.
Leland.
Okay. Yeah. I sell on Amazon. That must be for his book. Yep. I would like to sell the oyster on Amazon once we get it.
Yes.
If we can figure out how to do that. We're going to do all of drive-thru first, all that stuff. Then we'll see how it goes on Amazon. Always a pleasure to be at BLG Streams.
Thank you, man.
Damn right it is. Good evening, professors. How dare you insult us? We got people saying hello. Players creating shit for your game is the way to go. That's what happened in StarCraft, creating Dota and the MOBA genre. Yeah, you want a thriving ecosystem around your game. You want scenarios that people want to play and that people want to run. And you want other creative people to make really cool stuff because then you might want to collaborate with them. It's all good.
And you have other people are making more reasons to buy your product.
So
Why would you not want that?
I want to run that module. I might as well run it in the game.
Right.
That it's made for. You ever refuse a Bactal from a Jade Falcon clanner?
I don't know what that is.
Probably some werewolf thing. That's why I have Mithras in PDF, so that I can make it bigger when I need to. Forsaken is more about being a keystone predator in the strange spiritual ecosystem of the Chronicles of Darkness. The wolf must hunt. That's a much cooler take than an eco-terrorist loser.
But then almost all takes are.
That's true. It would not be hard. Expect ruined mech holes and broken pride. I do.
Fine by me.
What's up, my fellow black conservatives? As you can see, that is an accurate description of us.
Nice.
How's it going, man? Jusum guy.
Just some guy.
Just some guy.
Just some guy.
Got it. Good to see you. Why does the Mithras overview video? When does the Mithras overview videos start coming out? Pretty soon.
Yeah.
Next week we're doing another big video.
We already have one.
We have one.
Out.
Yeah. But the next one is going to be a Shucked Oyster video talking about the thing we haven't really talked about yet in terms like on the main
real
videos.
detail.
Yeah, in real detail, which is going to be the actual characters. Because the characters are the meat of the module. Negative Wisdom's here. Wandering Mage, I'm glad you guys talked with Northern Exile. He's one of the best Warhammer YouTubers I know. I hope he doesn't drag me back into Warhammer Ball.
I'm sure he probably wouldn't want that for you, given any Warhammer fan's opinion on Games Workshop at this point.
Right. And he's working on an RPG right now.
That's true.
So
which we were excited to hear about.
Yeah, which is going to have some sort of skirmishing system that you can like zoom out to more of the wargamey type of combat, which sounds really cool. So we will definitely have him on.
Yeah.
At some point to talk about
Honestly, I would like to talk Warhammer with him because both Fantasy and 40K, I have a surface level understanding of both. They both seem like really interesting worlds, but I just have not been interested in diving into it. It seems very intricate and Byzantine. So I would love to get a crash course and just have someone distill the really good deep lore points.
Yeah.
To get into at least the role-playing aspect. I have no desire to get into the miniature painting and miniature wargaming, but the role-play side, yes.
Yeah. I actually, and here's the thing, we got some miniatures.
That's true.
We went to a little gaming con and won some prizes, and they're flat pack miniatures, but I may make use of them playing Axe occasionally, which is cool. They're flat pack, so they're just like these binders full of women. No, binders full of little plexiglass figures that have them on both sides, so you can see the front and back of them.
Which also means they're easy to
transport.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I may give those a shot. And the other great thing about it is I don't have to paint anything, which I won't do. That's a good way to lose basically everything. Jade Falcon universally have fragile egos. Or maybe Jade Falcon, that's Battletech. Because I remember the Jade Falcons from Mech Warrior 2.
I have no idea what that means.
I fucking love Mech Warrior 2.
But maybe I will after Saturday.
Mythic Constantinople, yep. Good luck with the stretch goals.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, we got some coming.
We've had good luck so far.
We've hit 3 of them so far. So the next, we will have more. Hey, Eden's. After looking at Shauner's YouTube channel, I really need to read the book. Go for it.
You should.
Hey, Steve Fillmore's here. Howdy,
What's up,
boys?
dude?
Congrats on the Kickstarter. Good to see you,
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Good to see you. It's been a minute.
Steve Fillmore is a hell of a role player. You can see him.
A hell of a DM.
And a hell of a DM. I haven't played
and a hell of a guy.
Yeah, just a hell of a guy. You can see him in our Cyberpunk game that was briefly run, of which the 3rd session exists but has not been uploaded still.
Rocking
after
out.
like a year.
Yeah. A man can't stop the rock even if he tries to turn his back, even if he's trying to just run a bar and be an average Joe.
Yeah.
You can't get that spirit out of you. The people know it. The people love it. And they did love it.
People would be absolutely... You should want Steve in your game. He's so good. God damn, the fucking chat keeps bumping around. 2x speed, I can't be missing this BLG goodness, even if I'm late to the party. Well, you haven't missed anything. Well, I mean, you've missed us talking to you guys. That's about it. It's really why we do these streams for the most part anyway. We like hanging out with you guys.
Yep.
Found you guys last week from your VTM Mafia video, and I've been tearing through your backlog
nice.
of
Thank
content
you, man.
ever since. Nice. Yeah, that Mafia video is really cooking.
It found an audience.
It finally found an audience. That thing, for months and months and months, was flatlined and just only very steadily starting to gain traction until that line just went whoop as like a hockey stick. So
yep.
I think that one's going to do over 100,000 views, which is awesome because it deserves it. We were very disappointed that it didn't go wider when it first came out.
By disappointed, we mean screeching mad.
Furious, yeah. Oyster shucking, meat, module, tell me more. Well, check the links in the description to go see the Kickstarter. We got a whole lot of info over there. And
more to come.
It's great. It is technically a brothel module, but really the brothel is just a nexus point that draws all of these adventures together.
When you get down to it, it's a story about family.
It's about family. Nathaniel Alvarez, how's it going? I need to look at the rest of Northern Exile interview with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again,
just wait till tomorrow. They'll have the
edited video.
The edited video will be out. Yeah. Greetings. How's it going, Mercurius?
What's up?
Warhammer lore is my jam, especially fantasy. It's worth checking into for sure. Yeah.
It seems cool.
It does seem very cool. Here for the
I know
foot
there's
show.
vampire counts, and I like that.
Yeah.
Vampires are cool. Obviously, I'm a vampire player, so I am going to feel that way.
The Brandalorian says, first TTRPG recommendation? I was thinking Cyberpunk, but you sold me with the last Mithras video. You would not be going wrong with either of those.
With either of them, yeah.
Yeah, Cyberpunk is a great game.
Yeah.
We are partial to Cyberpunk 2020, but the net running rules from Cyberpunk Red,
Yeah.
way better.
Yep. Yep.
And don't get tricked into buying a copy of Cyberpunk 2020 on eBay because you think it's
not
out of print. It's not out of print. You can just still get it on Amazon.
Yeah.
I'm here to provide Battletech and 40K lore that no one understands. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
We appreciate that. I don't like understanding things. We got Schizo Bun in the chat.
Uh-oh.
She said here for the foot show. That's right. Excuse me.
How do you know if some game IDs would be better as a comic or terp? I wanted to make a game only set in airports when you are a smuggler criminal and leaving it as an automatic hit on you. Players might not get into it.
Interesting.
So that's a very limited scope, which is not in and of itself a bad thing.
Uh-huh.
And thank you for the $20, dude.
Oh, yeah,
That's very,
thank you.
very, very, very generous. I would say like a premise like that probably works best as like that probably is like a rules light game that is meant for one shots.
Heavy simulationist.
Yeah. You get
airport
perfectly in the moment for
Yeah.
but you can only play the game for 6 hours at a time.
Yeah.
Which is fine. You know, there are games that, you know, it all depends on what you're trying to simulate, what you're trying to evoke. If you're trying to tell this sort of one story, this one thing, like auger in on the dramatic moment and sort of some kind of smuggling or criminal exchange.
I would say this sounds more like a good premise for a game.
Yeah.
You have to
like
find a way
start
out, but there's going to be a hit on you if you leave.
Yeah.
That sounds like the premise of something much bigger.
Yeah.
That might, honestly though, if that's like the concept, that might work better as a board game. Some sort of...
Maybe.
I don't know.
I think your first answer is the right answer. It's
right.
That's a great premise for a modern day
It's a jumping
either
off point.
crime
Yeah.
game or a spy game.
Yeah. And how do you know if something is better as a comic or an RPG? Well, that comes down to, I think if you want to tell a specific story go
with
comic
characters.
book. Yeah.
Write a book or make a comic book.
Right. Because an RPG, if you respect the player's choices and respect the dice, it's just going to go in directions you couldn't have anticipated.
But that does sound like a cool.
That is a cool premise,
concept.
Yeah. And thank you again for the $20.
Thank you,
Very
dude.
generous. Battletech rules. I agree, and I'm excited. I've always wanted to play.
I trust that is the case.
Good to see I'm not too late for the main subject.
Nope.
It usually takes us about an hour to get to the main subject. Not always, but we just enjoy talking to you guys so much. Yes, it does. I'll be getting a new Battletech boxed set this Saturday. It was recommended to me by X-Dude and is going to have a lot of cardboard miniatures. Cool. That is something that I've heard. I've heard that there's all sorts of like drama and shit going on with the company that makes Battletech right now. I don't know anything about it.
Who makes BattleTech?
I don't know. I don't.
Fair enough.
But I have heard that in terms of like miniatures games, Battletech's cheap. Like Games Workshop shit is so expensive to get into Warhammer. Battletech is, you can for like $25 you can get a lance. Northern Exile's stream was great. Wargaming is 10 years behind RPGs and finding out that the practice of the game isn't tied to a company but a tradition. 3D printing changing that slowly.
Interesting.
Yeah. That is the other thing. If I got really into miniatures, I'm sorry, I'm not buying them. I'm just buying a 3D printer.
Yeah.
My brother has a 3D printer that is really good, and the minis that he makes are you couldn't tell a difference possibly, unless you were like, oh, it's made of plastic and it needs to be lead or pewter or something like that. Then you would, yeah. The Brandalorian Dungeons and Dragons is sort of everyone's first RPG, but feel free to experiment. It helps to find something in the genres you really enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely D&D. That is the case for most people. It shouldn't be, though.
Yeah. It's not a great game, especially not the modern iterations.
Yeah.
So I would not recommend that people play that. I think if you start with something like Mithras and you really get into it and really do it, you're going to be starting off on a much better foot in terms of your taste going forward in RPGs.
Right.
Have you guys seen the film Dark City? If so, how do you feel about it? I've seen half of it because I fell asleep.
Damn.
Not because the movie sucked, but because I was very tired. And I haven't finished it, but I do remember enjoying it. I like the aesthetic, and I know that people are like, it's better than The Matrix, but I love The Matrix, and I saw The Matrix first, so that's all I got to say about that. I do need to go back and watch that, though. Kiefer Sutherland's in it. It's got these fucking, like, weird, like, guys who are just completely white, bald, and they, like, put fucking, like, syringe in your head, and, like, the city moves around. It's a dream thing. Like, it's very cool. Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. I need to learn how to use Megamech so I can actually play that game.
I don't know what that is.
Don't know what it is.
Again, I don't know anything about mechs.
I've also been interested in Mechton, which is the Artelsaurian mech game that Pondsmith made very, very long time ago. A gun. The idea of listening to a podcast or audiobook at 2x speed physically pains me. Same with people who annotate novels. I don't annotate them, but I will say I am one of those filthy monsters that dog ears the pages on my books.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Not on my nice books, but on like a novel. Whatever. D&D is a terrible first RPG these days. Yes, it creates bad habits that will need to be unlearned in a lot of other systems. Correct. It is not a roleplay focused game, which is what I think you should start with.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that it has to have a bad rule system.
That is
which
true.
is also a very stupid outlook from a lot of people, is that if you're interested in deep roleplay, that's going to mean you have to do something like Powered by the Apocalypse or whatever.
Yes, which is the opposite wrong conclusion.
Shauna remembers Binders Full of Women, as do I. We're on the cutting edge of politics, making references to elections from more than a decade ago. I only want the unadulterated video. Okay. You got it, man. We got the feet show and everything. Would you consider using the term sex worker? Yeah, we had someone message us on the Kickstarter.
A real captain of industry in the comments.
Yeah, asking us if we said our project looked good and creative, but would you mind changing prostitute to sex worker? And the answer is no.
No.
Steve saying, thanks for the kind words. Really need Nick to run vampire again so I can play more of King Leper.
King Leper was a great character and still is a great character because he is the only kindred of the group to live and not get blown up in a basement, which very easily could have been avoided.
Yeah. This seems like a trap.
It is.
Yeah. What do you do?
I activate the trap. I go in.
Yeah, I guess we just kind of stay here and wait till something happens. The building blows up.
Yep. That is what happened.
That is what happened. No arguments from me. Stuttering Kiefer Sutherland is a bit much, but that film is cool and bizarre in some of the best ways. Talking about Dark City. Jumped again. Rex Teal saying, I also just got the first 2 John Carter of Mars books yesterday. My Appendix N collection is growing. Very nice. I have not read John Carter. I have not read most of Appendix N. I've read a lot of Conan, but not all of it. I do need to finish that. You will notice my Conan book, I don't think has dog-eared pages.
There you go.
I've got the omnibus with the leatherette cover and everything. Yes, D&D was my first RPG. Then in the mid-90s, my army buddy ran his fantasy world with BRP D100.
Hell
Most
yeah.
fun I've ever had. Yeah.
What a guy.
A
true hero.
I like D100 systems. I like
They're
BRP.
awesome. Yeah.
And I like hit locations. Mm-hmm. The only issue with Cyberpunk Red is that the layout is set up for a PDF, not a book. Ooh, that sucks.
I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have that realization, but when you say that, I can see that.
And I don't blame them because people are using PDFs a lot.
Yeah.
I've been running Axe for 8 months now out of PDFs.
Because it has to be that way.
It has to be that way. We did have some copies printed of the text-only PDF when it first came out. But then the rules clarification started coming in, and that copy was extraordinarily out of date. And it stopped being useful. I can't wait to have the physical copies. I can't wait to have the physical copies of Axe. That is going to be such a
much
game
better.
changer. Yeah. Be careful with Warhammer. Games Workshop has already proven that they are willing to let leftists vomit on their game and tell the fans they're nuts and evil when they point it out. It's like every company,
it's everything.
Though. Like it sucks, but I mean, like we are actually kind of talking about this with Northern Exile. It's like you can be upset about this. Don't let it imprison you, though. Like,
Right.
it doesn't have to dominate your life, and it just doesn't have to control you. And the other thing is, you've likely still got your minis, and you've still got the previous editions, and you can still play those things.
Yeah.
It does suck that there is cultural colonialism going on with brands.
But do not let them have your imagination.
Right. You do not. They cannot take that from you. And the other thing is, this is another reason why copyright is not your friend if you're a creator, because decades later, you don't know who's going to own your shit and who's going to have their hands on it and what they're going to do with it. And they'll be the only ones that can do that because they have control of the IP. So use open licenses. And I don't know what the solution is for the creative IP. It's like if you use Orc license, your mechanics are all licensed, are all open, and you have like reserved material. That can be your own creative IP. But I almost think that is a bad idea too. The creative portions of it.
I feel like it must be that way. Like
I don't
how
feel
can
that
it?
way. I know it is. It's a.
How can
bad-
it be any other way?
Yeah.
No.
That's all there is to it. Agreed there. Poncho Goblin. Yeah, Bear pointed that out, and I realized how right he was. Don't know what you guys are talking about.
Maybe.
Oh, probably the PDF.
Ah.
Cyberpunk Red Book is very wonky. Wish they had a unifying art style too. Yeah, unifying art style is good, but a unifying art style is expensive.
True.
Artel Sorian probably had the money, especially given Cyberpunk
Whatever they were
2077.
making off of
yeah,
the video game.
right.
I'm glad your Matthew hit its stride. You did more for me to get the vibe of Kindred Society across in one video than we did in a 400 book.
Thank you, man.
Nice,
I'm glad
thank
it
you.
helped.
Awesome. So it says, I'm glad, because I understand President Biden is having a little bit of trouble reading this clearly. I'm glad your Mafia vid hit its stride. You did more for me to get the vibe of VTM and Kindred Society across in one video than White Wolf did in a 400-page book. And I'm very happy that you said that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I would say the layout is just pretty bad all around, talking about Cyberpunk. Also, having the most beautiful woman, Jennifer Connelly, doesn't hurt either. Jennifer Connelly is one of the most beautiful women. She's still very beautiful. All these years later. Escape Room RPG for the airport setting. Yeah. How's it going, Patty?
What's up,
Good
man?
to see you. RPG books need to be laid out like a textbook. Yeah, no.
I don't know that that's precisely true.
Hype is the worst thing that the state does. I'm Sleepy Joe Biden, and I approve of this message.
Thank you, Jesse. And he's 100% right.
Yeah.
Intellectual property is the worst thing that the state does. He is Sleepy Joe Biden. and he approves of this message. Thank you for the $20, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, IP is very, very bad. Yep, a TTRPG book is a reference manual. It is, but but things can be beautiful. You don't make
And they should be.
And they should be. But you don't sacrifice the utility for making it an art book, you know. Mm-hmm. If you want to tell a specific story, play D&D. Do you tie player behavior and motivation beforehand, or would you let it play out as is?
Tie player behavior and motivation beforehand.
I don't know what that means.
As opposed to... Well, I'll say this, and maybe I'm misunderstanding you, but your player motivation should be to behave as the character would.
And if you want to tie your players to a chair and beat them to death,
I won't stop you.
Yeah, we can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite 40K faction? People talking to each other. I still recommend the older FASA rules to CGL, so this must be for Battletech. I 3D print all my Battletech models nowadays. Many such cases. Catalyst Labs is the maker of Battletech, but the IP is owned by Topps. I'm going to try to make printable paper minis here. I will take over Battletech as cheapest war game. Nice. Yes, the company that makes sports cards owns Battletech.
Huh.
Shameless self-plug for my mini skirmish game, Mutants, which has campaign play. That's right.
Hell yeah.
Everybody check it out.
Yes.
Also, you only need a few models for Battletech instead of hundreds of minis you need for MechWarrior. I didn't know there was a difference. Impressed with Nick's vocabulary, dropping words like auger casually. I'm a dirty Finnish peasant. Perkele.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't remember when I used auger.
Auger down. You say that fairly often.
Oh, I did say that. Yeah.
Catalyst Game Labs. Yep. Would love to come on with you and talk what I know of war games. Yeah, man. We'll have you on sometime. We don't know shit about war games.
Yep.
So you might be doing all the talking. I was trying to read the 4 ebooks, but it was making me sleepy, just like our Super Chat reader. They still have good source books, though. They're stuck prepping which source books to use to this day. I think Shauner plays GURPS. Ask him about it. I don't think that Shauner plays GURPS.
I feel like that must be a troll.
Right. Poncho Goblin saying, Megamech is software for playing Battletech, basically a dedicated VTT. Okay. Stopped playing GURPS in 2005. Yep, I abuse my books. Fuck them, they are meant to be used. You should take care of your books, but you should use them. I don't dog eat my RPG books, but I do for my paperbacks. Yeah, I don't do that to my RPG books either. Last game of GURPS in 2009. Ah, God damn it. Get the FASA rules. All right, people talking Battletech. Uriah Grant Edwards. Du Bois. Howdy, gents. Speaking of Appendix N, I am the glad owner of the main Elric series.
Oh, nice, man.
Nice. Great Expectations dating service had rooms filled with binders of women. Women signed up for free. I read the first 7 John Carter books. After a few books, you notice the stories repeat themselves for the most part. Fun stuff, though. Yeah, I have from Macrease's Appendix N, at the recommendation of Grognard TX first, the First Law trilogy by Abercrombie. And I'm looking forward to reading that, but I need to finish Snow Crash.
Will take longer to read those books than John Carter.
Probably. Yeah.
They're much bigger.
When I read a novel, though, I tend to devour it very quickly.
Yeah.
They had to be hot looking, though. As they should. Warhammer is on the decline, but that opens up space for other great creations to take hold. Yeah.
True. Along with many other, like, big name franchises.
Yeah. Megamech, if I got the name right, is basically a virtual, VTT for Battletech. Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't buy those companies' products. I buy enough better ones from independents. Yep.
There you go.
Correct attitude. Programming apps for GURPS to build vehicles counts as playing GURPS. The only experience I have with GURPS is some dipshit who used to be a subscriber, maybe they still are here, who mouthed off to me in our Twitter DMs a little too much, and I gave him way too much good faith back in return, and he kept being a dick. So I blocked him. That was about it. That's my experience with GURPS. I don't like GURPS because that guy was a dipshit. Yeah, I recommend not binge reading them.
If
Not
leftists
Bing
got a
reading
hold
them.
of your game, what would they change out of spite?
If leftists got a hold of your game, what would they change out of spite? Yeah, something you should ask yourself.
Yeah, they would change everything if they got a hold of the shucked oyster.
They might. They'd definitely change prostitute to sex worker.
That is true.
Yeah. The black leather complete chronicles of Conan with gold lettering. That's the one. I have that one on the shelf and it's
Nice.
beautiful. It is. And it does not have dog-eared pages. I think. Maybe it does. Revel in it. How annoyed do you think that Games Workshop is that someone who disagrees with them plays their games? Probably very annoyed. I don't know. If they have your money, I don't think they're that annoyed. That's like the thing with Vampire. Like everybody, the 5th edition has at the end of the book, like, this game is not for Nazis. You know, this, like the dumbest declaration.
It's just lamb's blood.
It's just lamb's blood. And the fact that it's at the end of the book and not on the first page or on the cover, you know, makes me believe that they don't really care who buys it. And they probably just want the money. Oh, shit. We got another one.
Whoa.
And thank you, Common J, for that $5.
Yes, thank you, man.
Have you considered changing it, man, to murder worker?
And a murder worker. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for the
legitimate
$5,
profession.
K-Dolo. IP in art and entertainment is such a creatively limiting force which leads to nothing but mediocrity. That is true.
Correct.
And every justification for intellectual property has been a post hoc rationalization that has nothing to do with the original implementation of IP laws. Bacon Gaming, it's hilarious. Games Workshop deserves it. Placeholder art is cheap. It can be. I'm a Dark Angels guy. That must be more
Asking for
Battletech. RPG PDFs need to stop being laid out like printed books. I don't know, man. It's a lot of work to lay out a PDF and making multiple versions. I don't even know what
I don't
you would
even
do
know what it would
differently.
look like.
A book is a book. It's, you know, if it's linked and you can click around, then that's good. But
Yeah.
I don't know what it would need to look like. For the lion. Jennifer Connelly is hot. Correct. Fact.
What a true statement.
Oh, yeah. She still looked amazing in the one with the planes. Top Gun. The new Top Gun.
The one with the planes.
I couldn't remember. I'm sorry.
The one with that guy in it.
That guy. Yeah. My PC died today. Oof. But at least my favorite RPG channel is streaming today. You're goddamn right we
It's
are.
not so over.
It's not so over, but that sucks, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Art and organization is important because I like a TTRPG that I can flip through for fun, even if I don't have time to play it. That's true.
Yeah, I want to be
want it
inspired by
Right.
the art.
Exactly. The text is more important than the art, but really good art in a game really takes it to another level. A great example of this, Shadows of Esteren.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous books, dripping with atmosphere. I get inspired just by looking at it.
Yeah, I would still
Yeah.
say it's the best game for like a unified vision that they've gone completely all in on.
Yeah.
And it worked tremendously. All their products are top notch. The art is gorgeous and all of exactly the type of tone, feel, and emotion they want you
Yeah.
to have while reading it and while playing it.
I came in just at the right moment. Hello, Chubby Funster. Good to see you. Go check out Chubby Funster on Drive Through
Yes,
RPG.
yes, some great stuff.
Got some great stuff. If you want to tie your players to a chair and beat them to death, yes, you can. We didn't say yes, you can. We said we can't stop you.
True.
Because
Important
we can't.
legal
We don't
distinction.
even know who you are. But Chubby, here's a question. Have you tried putting your books on Amazon? Because we are going to do that at a later date when we get our first drive-through book figured out. But if so, what has the process been like? Very annoyed that the Dragon Age games never got a good TTRPG. The world of those games is phenomenal. The newest games reek of generic fantasy. Art style is very important.
I don't hate the Dragon Age role-playing game. I will agree with you.
Oh, there is a TTRPG then.
There is.
Just never got a good one. Yeah. That makes sense.
I don't think it's bad. It's certainly more action focused than what I would prefer. Dragon Age, or if you've never played Dragon Age, any of the Dragon Age games, play Dragon Age Origins and all of its expansions and stop. Dragon Age 2 had a lot of problems. I still like it for the characters, and it's an interesting premise they tried to run with and implemented poorly for a variety of different reasons. Inquisition was not good. It completed what every successful franchise does, which is sort of the Marvelification as like the final outcome. Things have to be bigger. The scope has to be more cosmic, more all-encompassing, and this Veilguard thing looks to be pure propaganda.
Bad.
It looks like Fortnite. It's a complete. It is a completely different world.
Doing the little Fortnite dance. I can't even do it. The Zoomer thing.
Yeah. It's good that you can't do it.
You looked at me in absolute horror when I did that. But here's the thing. Here's my question for you. Would Mithras be a good system to run Dragon Age? If you had to just choose a system, what would you use for Dragon Age?
I would say yes. So here's the thing. Almost everything, like the tech level, it's a medieval, like, European world. So there's not so much primitive, nomadic, barbarian.
Yeah.
They exist, but
no, but I mean for game mechanics of combat and things like that. Yeah.
Completely.
Okay. Regarding IP, Fraser dropping bone-chilling facts about copyright, endless examples, but I can't help but imagine Tolkien having an extreme physical reaction to seeing how they massacred his boy. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So there's a bunch
Pure
of
evil.
There's a bunch of Conan where the copyright's all fucked up. Conan 2D20 was a very successful game. Crafty Matt has suggested it to us many times.
And it was a very good game.
It's a very good
game. It is
game.
a very good game.
I got the full PDF mega bundle the day before they went out of business, because they didn't go out of business. They simply, some Chinese company owned the rights to the Conan material, the copywritten Conan material that was in the game, which was very little. And they ordered the company that your license is expiring. You must destroy all of the physical product that you have in your warehouse and wipe everything from the internet. So that game got killed because of copyright. Literally, they had to burn, I don't know if it was burn, but they had to physically destroy all of the books that they had made.
Yeah,
So-
it was wildly successful. The best Conan game I've ever seen out there.
Wandering Mage, I've lived to see 2 Primarchs return. 'Tis strange times indeed. Nice to meet you, brother. Chubby Funster, I've been convinced my players this is the correct way to play.
I've convinced my players this is the correct way to play.
So stupid, I can't read. He meant to say hundreds of minis for Warhammer. MechWarrior is the video game version of BattleTech. That is correct. Sorry for the confusion. Which is why I remember the Jade Falcons, because I played a lot of MechWarrior 2 very poorly when I was a kid. But it was so fun. I fucking loved that game. I'm trying to figure out how you write a VTM-style city without using VTM, but something OS.
Old school?
Old school. Just make a human city with hints at vampires? Well, you don't need it to be about vampires.
You need it to be about people.
Characters.
Characters.
And this actually is kind of what we've done with the Shucked Oyster.
Yeah.
We've took a lot of inspiration from the way those old VTM City modules were written, because the meat of those things is the characters and the kind of mafia dynamics and all of the secret plans and the scheming and everything like that. So the Shucked Oyster, and this is not just me shilling it, but that is an example of how you do something like this. We brought that into like an OSR style game. And then there are certain people who be like, Shadow Dark's not OSR. You can't say that. Shut the fuck up. We don't care. If you collected tons of Heroscape tiles like I did, they make for pretty good, pretty great BattleTech terrain maps. Yeah. Grognord does know a lot about
Indeed,
war
he
games,
does.
miniatures games, RPGs, everything. When did he start gaming? A long time ago.
Before you.
Before you, yeah.
In all likelihood.
I love war games and would say I'm primarily a war gamer than an RPGer. Interesting. I get stickers for pages of my RPG books. That way I can dramatically flip them open to prove people wrong with maximum flair and efficiency. Nice.
Worth it for the bit.
Yeah. Which is why I endeavor to play raw, as you should.
Indeed.
Yeah. You should play raw until you find out that the game designer was an idiot and made bad rules. At that point, you know, do what you want. Snow Crash is great. The Sprawl is better. I don't know. The Malazan series is great inspiration for dark fantasy.
That is true.
I don't know about Sprawl. Is that another... That's not a Neil Stephenson book, is it? Maybe it
I
is.
have no idea.
I don't know. I love Neil Stephenson, though. Cryptonomicon is one of my favorite books. It's so good. Either of you, y'all know anything about Shadow Dark?
Indeed.
Yes. I hear it uses a torch mechanic that burns in real time to keep the pace of the game moving. Why,
Yeah.
yes, we do, Steve Fillmore. What an interesting question. We happen to be making a Shadow Dark module right now, and that is correct. Yeah, you track torch time in real time. So your torch can go out. It will go out after an hour.
Right, while you're in the dungeon.
Yeah, and it's way simpler than trying to corral people into tracking torches and dungeon turns. This
Right.
uses dungeon turns, but it's pretty cool because it can go out at really inopportune moments.
Which is the point,
Which
right?
is the point, yeah.
Because
It's like you're in the middle of combat and your torch goes out.
And it
it's
keeps the
monster's
tension
turn.
of what
Yeah.
should be a tense situation.
Right.
Delving into a pitch black cave or dungeon system.
Right. Patty's Parlor. I like D&D in the older versions, so skirmish/RPG. Yeah. VTM merits and flaws.
I
Use
love
them
merits
or
and
no?
flaws.
I like them a lot. Yeah.
I love flaws even more.
Flaws are better than merits. Yeah.
Yep.
Honestly, I'd be very interested in seeing what you guys think about war games, especially the stuff that was inspiring D&D at its inception and what sort of stuff carried
Sprawl,
over.
William Gibson's trilogy, Neuromancer, Chord Zero, Mona Lisa Overdrive.
Ah,
William Gibson's trilogy, Neuromancer, Chord Zero, and Mona Lisa Overdrive. Okay, cool. Yeah, I have not read any of those. But back to this question. Very interested in seeing what you guys think about war games, especially the stuff that was inspiring D&D at its inception and what sort of stuff carried over. I have always had a wargaming itch that I have not scratched. When I was a kid, my buddy and I played shitloads of Axis and Allies, and then we started designing our own World War II miniatures game
Yeah, you
using
were
the
telling me
Axis and
about
Allies
this.
figures because we wanted to play Warhammer but couldn't afford it. And we were obsessed with World War II, just absolutely obsessed with it. And so we were doing stuff like that. And we found out very quickly that small units need to be spread out or you get hit with a grenade and everybody dies. It was a lot of fun though. But I've never pursued it. Mostly it was, I was just not interested in paying the cost
Yeah.
to get in. And now it's like, I won't paint minis. It's not happening.
Yeah. It's not something I
it's
wanna
not
do
something
with
that
my
I'm
time.
like, ew, painting minis. It's just that like,
it legitimately does not interest me.
I'm going to be dog shit at it forever. And it's going to be a bunch of money to spend a bunch of shit on paint. And then it's going to be a giant time suck that I don't have time for. So, it's
and you
just not
need all
happening.
this space for lights and for
Right.
brushes and paints
Right.
and for the miniatures themselves.
I liked Snow Crash, but Diamond Age lost me. I'm enjoying Snow Crash a lot. I am reading it right before I go to sleep, so I'll get a couple pages in and then I fall asleep. But I'm also doing that with Mithras. Malazan was pretty good. Took inspiration from Glenn Cook's The Black Company series too.
I never read The Black Company.
I've started reading Gardens of the Moon 4 times.
Yeah, it's not the best book.
God damn it, my wife needs me and I'm out of invisibility spells. I used them up writing RPGs today. We'll watch this tomorrow while wearing my Hades mask. Ciao, gents. Keep on shucking. We will.
Take it easy, man.
This is America. You can just say whore. Exactly. Games Workshop guys are supposedly pretty based. They just tossed bread to lefties once in a while to shut them up, but I can't prove that.
I could not tell you.
I couldn't tell you. I've heard the first 3 John Carter books, known as the Mars Trilogy, are the must-reads. Then I heard there were mixed opinions on the later ones. Many such cases. Game companies don't care if you disagree with them or not. In addition to getting your money, they get another opportunity to lecture you.
That's true also.
Yeah. That is really annoying.
That's also the thing. It's like, if these people hate you and they're making a bad product, obviously they do hate you, but they do also want your money. And
if the product
they want
is
it even
bad,
more. It's like better for them. You literally are selling a piece of your soul.
Yeah.
By willingly capitulating, even if it's just through a financial transaction, to an evil person or an evil group of people
and
who
this
hate.
is the thing. Like those those things and products are always bad. So if you keep buying them and you
even
keep
outside of the
complaining,
propaganda, you're being incentivized to make bad shit.
To make bad shit. So only buy good things. That's all you have to do. Too many game companies pander to the freaks, but their money is running out. I don't think
it's a money thing.
It's not a money thing. Get woke, go broke only happens. I don't think it's ever happened, to be honest. They go broke in the sense that there's a big opportunity cost to. They could make a lot more money if they just didn't make a bunch of woke stuff.
Yeah.
Because people are starving for that, but none of them are going out of business, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
How many feet videos do I need to post to get you back into a game, Nick?
0. Just pitch me on a game.
Yeah.
Be easy for both of us.
Is fucking phenomenal when it comes to writing characters.
Oh,
and
Joe
laugh out loud
Abercrombie.
funny on the page, which is very, very rare.
Nice.
40K is very anti-progressive as a setting. Yeah, it's a grimdark.
Yeah, as a setting.
The whole
Religious,
basis,
there is objective truth. It is. What would you say? What would be the word? It's not just religious. You will. There's no choice. There's no freedom of anything. There's no progressivism. In certain respects, it is a paradise.
They also will bank on your conservatism. Look at Black Myth Wukong. Thousands of gamers are being tricked to buy a kick game because they reject A.
Tricked by a CCP game because they reject D.
I don't even know what that
DEI.
is.
Black Myth Wukong is this.
It sounds awful.
It looks like a kind of like a Dark Souls game, but with like lots of kung fu. Very impressive use of the Unreal Engine, but I don't care. But the company is not pandering to like progressivism.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is also the mind trap of like, well, if it's based, it's good.
Yeah, if it's
Being
not
based
woke,
does not
it must
mean-
be good.
Yeah.
It's not the case.
There are a lot of cringe based people,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
I bought an hourglass for the torch timer to help my players see the torch. They still forget it's even there and darkness falls mid-commit anyway.
Yep.
No,
Exactly.
get wrecked.
Get wrecked. That's their fault. You guys gave me the motivation to not care about appeasing people who hate me and wouldn't give my money anyway, so I'm just going to be true to myself with what I make. Nice.
Hell yeah,
Good,
that is
man.
the 100% the correct attitude
And
to have.
that is really happy to hear that. How does it feel to know that you have the coolest and most intelligent and greatest taste-having audience on the platform? It feels really
It feels
good.
great.
It
I've never
really
felt
does.
any different ways. It's just
Yeah. No, but it really does. We love you guys.
yeah.
Frasier is becoming Mike Stacklasa, the one with the plane. Lol. Yeah, my dementia setting in. Once I start coming up with fake names for people on the fly, like they do.
Yeah.
then yeah. The Dragon Age TTRPG was okay, but not great.
I would agree with that assessment.
Heyo, John McGowan's here.
What's up?
Yes, Dragon Age Origins is the only valuable one. I could not stay awake playing 2. Tried so many times, fell asleep every time.
That's the thing. Dragon Age Origins is so good. The world is awesome, but the decline happens so precipitously game to game, sequel to sequel. It truly is not worth playing anything after Origins, but it and all of the expansions are amazing.
I couldn't get over how weapons stuck to your back like a Mass Effect character in Dragon Age.
How else do you hold a quarterstaff?
Veilguard looks absolutely terrible. It looks so bad.
Oh yeah.
No fangs whatsoever. Make things that leave an impression, people. Yeah. I like the Dragon Age game, especially the spell and magic mechanics.
Well, it's a world that even even more than a world like Dragonlance. There are aspects of religion and magic which are taken even more seriously, and the demands of a person in that world are even more extreme. You know, you think about, you basically have like a Catholic church in that world, and there is no divine magic, quote unquote, that's like objectively real. There are no divine spells, but people do believe it, and the church is real. But there are wizards, and there is magic in the world. All wizards, all magic users are all found when they're young, and they're all corralled. Every country in the world, in the Europe of this world, it's institutionalized magic for a very real fear, which has happened before in the world, of magicians either almost destroying the world or taking it over for chaotic or petty reasons, which no one would be able to resist. It's a really cool setting.
I play in a DA game, Dragon Age game, every other Saturday.
Hell yeah, man!
Nice.
I would love to play in a Dragon Age game. I would love to run a Dragon Age game.
Well,
but there's many things I would love to play, and I would love to run.
Yeah, that's way down on my list. I don't care about that. In comparison to the rest of the games I want you to run.
Indeed.
Modiphius probably had to shred all the unsold books. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Palladium had to do the same thing when they lost the Robotech license. It's so stupid. China steals everyone else's IP anyway. I'd tell them no. Yeah. Love some Roborec too. If Shadowdark isn't OSR, then how did it invent the concept of tables? Riddle me that. That's
good
a good question, Bacon. OS is open source, yes. As in VTM with clans and Camarillas and Masquerade is the game. You could.
I would check out Damnation City, which is a Requiem source book.
Yeah, which I have.
Which is about building a city and the factions and the people in that city.
Yeah. Brand new to the OSR space. I just bought Axe because of your constant praise of it. Nice. What would your elevator pitch for Shadowdark be? Shadowdark is very simple and fast and easy to learn, and there's very little buy-in. If you have players who are on the fence about even trying an RPG, they don't know if it's going to be right for them, whatever, you can get a game going in an hour with them. Making characters is super simple. They will get the concept of what D&D is, of what kind of an old school feel is, and the tools for doing like a zero prep game are so good. They're like, the tables are very clear, very simple, and you can get a lot out of it. And it's got a cool vibe and great art. So that would be my elevator pitch. However, if you want to have a many years long campaign, Axe is the way to go.
Yes.
That takes significantly more buy-in though. So the easiest way to get your players to do it is to just force it upon them, like I did, and they didn't have a choice of which game we were going to play, and now they're obsessed. The other thing with the Conan license was that the Robert E. Howard people left, and the last book had sensitivity changes made.
Oh, man.
Most likely the IP holder did not like the direction Modiphius was taking. Maybe, I don't know, though. They just I don't know.
Either way, it didn't have to be that way. In a different world.
Yeah, I did that. I did that same deal. I got all the PDFs.
Yeah.
Same thing happened with the comic license. Marvel lost the Conan license because of the changes to the other comics, and the IP holder did not want that to happen to Conan. Yeah, and I think there was going to be a Chuck Dixon Conan setting for Acts 2.
Right.
And that got the axe, so to speak. Not that it was pulled from Autark to make it, but that it was pulled from Chuck Dixon. So that sucked. It's very stupid.
Yeah.
We could all be playing awesome Conan games. So you guys express the politicking through characters, mostly in your games, compared to something like what Axe does, which is big picture domain play with lots of detail. Yes, but you can play Axe as like the character driven, you're making all the decisions, heavy role play stuff. It allows you to do.
It allows you to scale.
Yeah.
Your character
and to simulate the things you want to simulate when you want to simulate them. So if you want to be like, let's prepare some armies for the next 6 months and do that. You can play domain turns and go through those months very quickly, advance your timeline. But if you want to do the heavy role play of like kings and people negotiating that way, you can absolutely still do that in Axe.
Oh yeah, I'll be doing that.
Yeah. That was the comment that I clicked on, sorry. I watched the new trailer of Veilguard today, and what came to mind was Bollywood. I was expecting a nice dance number to trigger at any moment.
Yeah, I understand they released the... they announced the release date today. I don't know what it is. I don't care. It's the latest Dragon Age game. Because I won't be buying it.
Thoughts on WebDM YouTube channel? They have a well-made how to roleplay series. Sad that people need them though. I don't know that I know WebDM.
I know I've seen that channel name before, but I can't recall the channel content off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know. Didn't read Neuromancer. I'm illiterate. What am I supposed to say? Let me introduce you to speed paints and slap chop then. No. It's just not happening. I know you guys said you're not doing an RPG yet, but I'm starved for genuine opinionated creations, so I'm impatient for the day you decide to make a system.
Well, we have plenty of content in the meantime.
Yeah.
Until that happens.
Plenty of content in the meantime.
But thank you. It is nice to know that there's people who are interested in what we have to offer.
Miniature painting is a hobby in itself. You do to relax, and miniature painters often also do ships and plane models. They just like to do crafts to relax.
Yeah, it seems like it's a separate
it's a separate
hobby,
thing.
which is fine. It's just not mine.
It's not mine. Exactly. My orc kill team are all slap chop and speed paints. Is there a better place to go to find other GMs to bounce ideas off of? I don't like Reddit.
You should not be looking for.
You will not find anything
any
good
thoughts
on Reddit.
on Reddit.
Yeah. That's a good point. You will not find them. I would recommend go to the Basic Experts Gilded. There's a lot of people there, a lot of different ideas, a lot of good people. You could try our locals as well. Smaller community than Basic Experts Gilded for sure. But there's really smart people there. First Law is peak grimdark fantasy, especially if you like character-driven plots. I do. I'm super daunted by miniature painting. I'm eager to try, but not eager to see what its results in. Yeah. Miniature painting is really fun. It does require a lot of free time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't have tons of free time. We work a lot.
I work more than I ever did at the office.
Yeah. That is true, but I worked a lot at the office. Not at the office, but through the computer.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing. I am working longer.
Yeah.
But I'm committing to it more than I did there.
Oh,
obviously, because it's something I want to be
doing. And is very rewarding to do.
Yes.
And is paying off with the Kickstarter.
Yeah. It's nice for something to be spiritually rewarding to be financially rewarding.
Yes, very much so. So yeah, we're putting way more than 40 hours a week into the Shocked Oyster.
Oh yeah.
So
We do not get paid overtime
Yeah.
or at all.
So if you would like us to still be able to stream and have electricity, then please back the Shocked Oyster. By graping things I enjoyed, you've earned my spite instead of my goddamn money. Exactly. I think that most people that buy the games ignore all the progressive crap that is shoved in. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you can't ignore
Sometimes
it, though.
you can't,
But,
and sometimes there's nothing left
yeah.
but the propaganda, but the
Right.
the progressive stuff.
Right. All right, man. See you later, Patty.
Take it easy, man. Uh-oh.
Oh, shit. Steve Fillmore.
Hell
Speaking
yeah.
of games, I'm going to pitch you all in a game very soon. Very
I'm down.
nice. John McGowan with a great comment as always.
Yeah.
Get woke, go broke. Chicken and egg situation. In the cases of going broke, were they not already in decline? Seems they usually are.
Yep.
True. Don't trust China. China is asshole. It's more like go broke, get woke. Failing companies sell their soul to try to fix their bottom line.
Yeah. Yep.
I have been eyeing out your system, just looking for that final push to seal the deal. It's very easy. And
It's very easy. It's very good.
very good. We were running some mock combat with the just the straight up Perilous D6 rules
Right.
last week.
It was last week.
Last week. It's very fun. It's just very quick opposed rolls, and leftover successes for the person who succeeds on their action get added to damage. So the better that you hit someone, the more damage you do. It's all very smart, and it's a great dice pool system because it stops the problem of having too many fucking dice to roll.
Yeah.
Instead of rolling shitloads of dice, you will have a reasonable amount of dice, yet the color of the dice you use changes what triggers a success, what number triggers a success, so you can have much, much more effective dice pools without having them bloat, which is great.
Right.
So we like Perilous D6 a lot. 40K is a great representation of an unquestionable galactic theology. Exactly.
Yep.
Is there an imperative to leave an RPG's world open-ended for the sake of player agency? Maybe it's just me. I love a good set of parameters.
I mean, I think you. So your world is always going to be open-ended by virtue of it being a world. I think you should, when trying to write or trying to explain or evoke a setting, you have to really know for yourself what are the themes, what is the feel of that world. Focus on putting that over, and the rest of like the lore that the player characters would know in this moment, they should know that, but the greater history 10,000 years ago, or
Yep.
all of the like internecine politics at the global or even the regional scale are probably above their pay grade and beyond their scope of awareness. So don't worry about it. What is the truth about the gods and the nature of magic? If there is an answer to that question, your starting player characters almost certainly don't know the answer.
Know it, yeah.
So,
And won't be in a position to know it. Yeah.
right, exactly. So,
Oh man, I'm sorry. McGowan again with the great comments. Financialization has some real drawbacks, like insulating bad products from the consequences of being a bad product. This is
Yeah.
so true, so true. Disney is an excellent example of this, where they make big losses on some very bad cultural decisions that they make, but they are insulated from that. As always, we will have John McGowan on relatively soon just to shoot the shit, because he's a great guy and
Oh, yeah.
very smart and has very good taste in games. Let me see here. Should we talk about the topic? We are more than
that's
halfway
right. We
through
did have
the
a
show.
topic, didn't we?
Yeah. So everybody's been talking about dungeons recently. Basic Expert started Mythic Underworld Gate, I think,
Right.
by basically just saying that, dungeons, you don't need a strict ecology for them. They don't need to be perfectly world built. If you treat them as the mythic underworld, if you draw upon the
Right.
myths of man and the idea that the
Is
deeper,
this another realm? Is this
Yeah.
Hades? Is it Tartarus?
right, the deeper you go, the weirder and more dreamlike things get, which
Right.
is sort of the idea that was presented in the earlier editions of D&D and many games, but is generally not how many people play. Many people,
Right.
there's the issue comes down to basically
Well,
people are
almost
like,
literally everybody, or I should say almost literally nobody, either plays, runs, or writes, if you're writing a module, a dungeon in that way. Regardless of the circumstance, regardless of the scope, whether you're talking about a quote-unquote mega dungeon, a sunken temple from 10,000 years ago, or a, an owl bear lair. Now, I would argue there's one side of the spectrum of the scope. Things can and perhaps should be more naturalistic, but the heart of what a dungeon, if by dungeon you mean a forgotten, evil, alien place, yes, indeed, it should be that way.
yeah, and because we talked about this before with regard to games that we want to make, the idea of dungeons.
Dungeons have always been the least interesting thing.
They have always been
world.
the least interesting thing to us. But it's not that it's a place that's underground that's weird, that's dumb, or not interesting.
Yes.
Because that can be very interesting.
Correct.
And the kind of argument that was going on Twitter, just to address that part of it, is that there were people who were like, no, this needs to be completely naturalistic. You need to have an internal consistency with, like you need to know where the dragon takes a shit and like how they're getting food and water, and you need to have an ecology and all this shit, which to a certain extent I understand. If it's like an enemy stronghold, I want some internal logic to it. I want it to be a stronghold, not simply just a wacky set of rooms that make no sense, which is how most people treat dungeons for the most part. The normie slop gaming out there, when they're making dungeons, it's just a stupid fucking haunted house, which is not the Mythic Underworld. And
Right.
I do want things to have internal consistency. And here's the thing. The Mythic Underworld also does have internal consistency to it.
Well, here's the thing,
But it's not all so it's like
Sure.
it's like the Darth Vader's suit video that Red Letter Media did.
Yeah.
Where I don't need to know exactly what every button on Darth Vader's suit does. I didn't need to know that Darth Vader's helmet was made from polished voodoo hide.
Yeah.
You don't need that shit to have a good dungeon that is the Mythic Underworld.
Yeah. Well, what this is, this basic expert is correctly identifying a trend, which is something that has cropped up in literally everywhere else, which is the infection of the midwit mind. Because this is a different flavor. It's a different strain of the midwit yearning for, quote, realism.
Yeah.
Because there's a way in which realism is good, and you should strive for realism.
You should
But
strive. No. You should strive for verisimilitude, for truth,
yes.
like a feeling of truth.
You're right. It's a midwit misunderstanding of like the actual virtuous attempt to make a, quote, realistic
Right.
world. That's all that it is. What are we looking for here?
I'm just getting to the bottom of the chat. We were stuck at the top. Yeah.
And he's right. This does like trend towards a more and more materialistic and like emotionally, artistically bankrupt presentation of these things called dungeons, which are a mainstay in like a typical fantasy world.
Right. And it's a way of literally sucking the soul
Yeah.
and the magic and the wonder and the mystery
Yeah.
of like the great stories that have been told in human history, the things that speak to us on like a species level, myths that have been passed down for thousands, if not more years.
Right.
That is prime material to draw from for a role-playing game.
And
Like-
the floor on like that level of absence of quality is so dramatically low that you take a completely emotionless, like naturalistic, ecologically sound dungeon.
Yeah.
And you put that next to like the shitty 70s Gonzo Funhouse. I would actually prefer the Gonzo Funhouse to a completely uninspiring.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like this,
Yeah.
scientifically presented. It's so
literally,
stupid.
it's like, I know how the Enterprise works. I know what the Enterprise looks like. I know what Jeffrey's tubes are. But when someone shows you one of those books that gives you the full technical schematics of the Enterprise, I want
Right.
to shoot. I won't finish for YouTube's sake. It makes me want to do things that I can't say on YouTube.
Yeah, because it's the worst. It is like the final. What is it, like the final evolution of that is the Red Letter Media Voodoo Hide Darth Vader suit.
Darth Vader suit.
It's you become obsessed and you have to map out whether it's in a dungeon or the lore of some
Right.
obscure piece of
Right.
equipment for a character. The soul of the thing is destroyed and it's broken apart into 10,000 pieces of trivia and
Yeah.
minutia.
Yeah.
Now, I guess the net result in a dungeon, it looks maybe somewhat different because of sort of what it is, but he is 100% right. These things,
Yes.
the core like foundation of what a dungeon is alien place of chaos
Right.
and evil. The spirits live there, monsters live there, things which are not human
Yeah.
and therefore are incomprehensible lurk there.
Yeah. And
That's the most simplistic sort of way to put it over.
the deeper you go,
Yes.
the more intense that gets.
Right. And so interestingly, because I was talking about this with you earlier, I agree that is what dungeons like inspirationally
Yeah.
should be. And I think should be put over way, way more in games. But it does actually erode the dungeon crawl dynamic, I think, in many respects. Because, so let's say you have a world with the dungeon as an entrance to the underworld, the entrance to hell,
Yeah.
the entrance to where the dead live,
Yeah.
or the realm of chaos.
I'm with
It's
you.
another spiritual plane. You're entering the Black Lodge.
Yeah.
Right? Why nobody would go there. Not only would you not go there, it would not occur to you as a human being in this world, even if there's 10 million pieces of gold for whatever reason down there, to think of it as like a financial or an economic endeavor. And if you did that, even if you got all the treasure in the world, when you came back, if you survived somehow, you would be looked at best as a fool, and far more probably as a blasphemous, sacrilegious monster that must be destroyed by any God-fearing human.
Now, I agree with you. And the way in which you have people enter the underworld is, again, and to have it makes sense, and in a way where coming back with treasure is a reward, but is not the primary incentive to go in,
Yes.
is to have character goals and motivations. Maybe something
Correct.
at stake. Maybe you have an actual reason to go underground other than just trying to plunder
Right.
Hades and hell. Perhaps you go into the Mythic Underworld for reasons similar to characters in myth.
Correct. You have to have a world with like quests as a capital Q thing and as motivations that are more than material. They are metaphysical.
Right.
You have to have a fucking ethos. And
People didn't go to try to find the Holy Grail because it was this
It
cool
was a
fucking
gold
thing
cup.
with a gold cup.
yeah,
you
this,
know?
is, this is absolute
The
trash.
Holy Grail was treasure, but it was something so much more than that.
Yes. Like, why don't you get it? Like, it's absolutely absurd. Like, yeah, that's the Holy Grail is fucking down there because humanity, because Camelot has fallen.
Yeah.
Because we as the age of man is in decline. Are we going to let that happen? Fuck no.
Yeah.
We're going to get it back. We're going to bring the king back to life. It's going to revitalize the country.
Revitalize the land and the people.
Itself.
Yeah.
We are going to make Britain great again.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And something like that is the only justification. And it's such a good justification. Like the energy of that. Like how alive a character is and a culture that he comes from who believes that way.
Right.
That's so much more evocative.
Or the stories of the Greeks who had to go into the underworld.
Yeah. Why did
Interesting
Orpheus
stories.
go down there?
Yeah.
To get a couple bucks? Like,
Yeah, like
you assholes.
So this is another one of those things where it's like, yeah, we agree with people, but there's so much more. It's
Yeah.
like, it's not just that it's the Mythic Underworld and it's a cool place to go to plunder. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Myth is cool.
Yes.
Your game should be about myth. You
Yeah.
know? That's a cool thing to do.
That's
be a
what it's
mythic
about.
character. Yeah.
Yeah, and think, even from as a GM, and as a player, it's like
no. We tried to find the Holy Grail because if you drink from it, it gives you 1d6 hit points back.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that was the
fucking
good
cool.
thing about the Holy Grail.
Yeah,
like no.
yeah, get out of this game. Like,
Get out. Get out. Leave.
awful.
Yeah.
But like, how much more interesting from a role playing standpoint, whether on the GM side or the player side, like the creativity of trying to evoke these things. Again, it's like it is the
Right.
difference between just going down into a dark and spooky basement and entering those red curtains
Yeah.
in the circle
Yeah.
of sycamores.
Yeah.
Does anything make sense in the black light? No.
No.
Obviously not, because you don't belong there.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be here, right? You're supposed to be out there
Yeah.
where time works the way that you think it does and reality works the way that you think it does. But it's undeniably evocative. It's like
Yeah.
attractive and entrancing. And there are secrets and there are treasures to be found there. And there are undoubtedly things that you can do there if you have like the fortitude of soul to do that. Like even something that's like modern day, like, why not just keep going back to Twin Peaks? Like Dale Cooper was a shaman and he had a quest.
And here's the thing. It's like if you go down for the wrong reasons, you don't get to come back.
You don't get to come back, and that's not because the monster had more hit dice than you. You
I
literally
am blanking
can't.
on his name. Who is the guy that he chases into the Black Lodge?
Wyndham Earl?
Wyndham Earl.
Yeah.
Wyndham Earl
Wyndham
goes
Earl
in.
fucked up.
Fucked up. He thought that he was going to gain power from the Black Lodge.
Yeah,
and that he was the master of
immortality.
immortality. Not how it worked out for him.
Yeah.
And even Dale didn't get to leave for a very long time.
Yeah, and Wyndham Earl, we can intuit quote unquote, knew more about the Black Lodge than Dale did.
Yeah.
Going down there, he'd been thinking about this, studying it. It did not help him in the end.
Not at all.
And it's not because Wyndham Earl isn't smart, isn't powerful.
Right.
He clearly is. Like that was put over through the whole season.
And again,
it's not enough.
Why did Dale Cooper go to the Black Lodge?
Yeah. Dale Cooper didn't go even just to capture Wyndham Earl. He got there. He went there to save Annie.
Yeah. He went there to save Annie. You can have personal stakes that would drive you to go to such a crazy place. You can have villains that want to go there for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But
or maybe you don't even know between
this is again like the gold piece thing that we've talked about since basically the inception of the channel. It's like that is such an absurd reason. It's not even that it's like, oh, it's not realistic, it's absurd. It's like it's such a stupid reason. Like there's a better you can think just a little bit bigger than that. You can think a little more creatively than that,
Yeah. And it's obviously self-evidently stupid from an out-of-game standpoint.
Yeah.
And if you have a brain, you should realize very quickly, if you give it 5 seconds thought, from an in-world perspective, it's like I said at the beginning, it's not like this would, from within the game, it's dumb or it's not evocative. This does not compute to your character. Your character would not think in these material ways.
In these terms, if there is a Mythic Underworld and this
Correct.
And things are this way, they would not go in there for such petty or small-minded reasons.
Yeah.
Because they would understand the gravity of that situation.
And even if you quote unquote win at whatever you're trying to do, whether it's to get the Holy Grail, an artifact, whatever, someone back, it's almost certainly going to come with some kind of cost.
Price.
Because, and like you said this, and you're completely right, it's like fairy logic. You accepted a gift in the realm of fairy, and it was like, I just tossed you a piece of candy. Like, okay, well,
yeah.
But I'm a fae creature, and you have no idea how you've metaphysically tied your soul to this place forever now, or almost certainly tied yourself to this place. You can't understand it because you're human, and so every step, must be taken with the most extreme amount of caution.
Yeah.
And realizing the dangers of going down here, the drive of your passion, the strength of your need, whatever, regardless of people in the world agree with it or not, better be strong enough to sort of overcome, what is almost certain death and possibly and probably something way worse than death. Something you don't even know what might happen to you, And it's like you said, it's like Dale Cooper went into the Black Lodge with a virtuous intent in mind. And he did not have his soul destroyed by Bob or anything like that, but he still got stuck there for 25 years and came back not entirely himself.
Yeah.
In a world almost unrecognizable to the one that he left behind.
Yeah.
So, and that's a guy who had sort of everything in his corner, or at least a lot in his corner, and it did not work out perfectly for him.
Right.
So, let your imagination really run wild in these places and think of it like some kind of dream space, and really put that over, because you are traveling into another dimension.
Cooler.
You're traveling into a different spiritual realm.
It's so much cooler than just the funhouse.
Yes.
And the funhouse can be fun. I get that. But there is just so much more you can get from these games.
Right.
And this discussion on the Mythic Underworld is a very good step in the right direction, in my opinion.
Because there actually are quote-unquote naturalistic ways and reasons and places where you would go to get treasure, let's say, or gold. And the answer is like war.
Yeah.
Raiding other people.
Right.
For their resources.
Which is why in Adventurer Conqueror King, mass combat gets you a shitload of gold.
Right.
A shitload of gold. And you don't just do the dungeon thing all the time.
Yeah.
And there are still reasons to do it at high level because the stakes can get very, very high. But
true.
Axe does it very well. I prefer the Axe 2 verisimilitude check. I just like my fights existing in the world so it feels like it affects the world. Yeah.
Yes. Episode 8 was the God of Light one.
Yeah, one of the purest injections of grade A inspiration straight into my brain was watching episode 8 of Twin Peaks season 3. Damn near brought me to tears, but luckily my high T levels blocked it.
Attaboy.
Yeah, many such cases. Come on, let me scroll. There we go. Ecology is all well and good, but if you're going for a theme and feel, it is not essential.
Right.
Mythic Underworld doesn't mean funhouse. Oh my god, so random. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, this is like ecology makes sense where the world makes sense.
Yes. The less yeah. That is a good point. And like you said, an owl bear
That's
den.
just a bear cave.
It's a fucking bear cave.
If you want to call it a dungeon because
Right.
it's technically underground, it's just an improper use of the word dungeon. Like
Right.
the word dungeon has been stretched too widely for it to have utility.
I never really liked dungeons, to be honest. Started playing TMNT in 1989. No way my eagle character is ever going into some dungeon. He's going to fly around in the open and shoot things with a submachine gun. Goddamn right, wheelchair combat. That's what I want to hear. Mythology has been so deconstructed in popular culture that people have no comprehension of what myth represents.
Yep. Everything has been so deconstructed.
True.
Yes.
And one of the evils of the age.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Sometimes it's overstated how bad the middle of season 2 is. Of course, nothing quite compares to Lynch, but it retained quite a bit of the wackiness and has fun episodes and moments. I really did not like the middle of season 2.
It was a rough go.
It was bad. The best dungeons are generated on the fly with a pre-outlined theme, allowing for emergent play. The GM needs to have some sand to pull this off. Yeah.
Yep.
I backed for the Kickstarter exclusive leather covers. It must be Axe. I'm going to get the regular ones from my FLGS. I've been hounding him to pre-order them since the Kickstarter closed. Nice. God damn it. Let me scroll. It's fucking chat. It's not the mouse, too. It's the chat. The literally the scroll bar will disappear, and you cannot move up or down unless you click up and down. Click on shit. As someone who likes a coherent explanation for most things, I also know that sometimes being evocative supersedes realism, so long as verisimilitude is not compromised. Yes.
Yeah. And they don't have to compromise because again, a fantasy world, it's in the name. It is a fantastic world where the incomprehensible and the supernatural are undeniably real.
Yeah. The Mythic Underworld creates its own ecology, and puny mortal minds are not expected to understand it. We're talking cosmic horror here. Nature doesn't care if it doesn't make sense. It just exists. Why does any alien world even follow our laws of nature, let alone anything lesser? It can be hell simply through lack of comprehension of your situation. Yes, which is why the Zone in Stalker is an excellent dungeon.
Yep.
It's a very weird place. It's the Mythic Underworld brought into the real world.
Things don't make sense.
Things don't make sense.
The only way you can possibly make sense of it intuitively is to ruin your life by breaking the law, risking life and limb by being a stalker and going there again and again and again.
Well, and that's the thing is that they make the point in the beginning. Stalkers originally started going in to do very stupid and petty things, like try to like rob banks that were and like recover wealth and things like that, and they came back so fucked up and weird. And they found that the real treasure was the friends you made along. Was like the alien artifacts and everything like that. But it's not even. But it's like people are attracted to it, and it's not just like I want to go get some money. It's like you get tainted by the Zone. It changes you. You can become obsessed with it.
Yeah, you become
There's a
Zone
reason you keep going back.
Yeah.
Beyond just an experience.
Like you're becoming an anomaly yourself.
Yeah. The full technical readouts of the Enterprise could make a great setting where you have to crawl around the ship working on it. I would fucking hate that, man. That does not sound good to me. I don't need to know how many kilocalories the dragon is eating, but I do need to know who's resetting all the traps in the Tomb of Horrors. Yeah, I mean, I agree. That's not an unreasonable thing to
because
to
the
ask
Tomb of
for.
Horrors is it is in part a fun house. It's a fun house with that has a more firm ground to some kind of feel and theme, but you have like mechanical traps in there. Like, well, if there are mechanical traps, you do have to ask the question why.
To borrow a line from Die Hard, I'm doing all of this for a lot of money. Yeah.
Or Lone Star in Spaceballs. We're not just doing it for money.
From the
For a
dungeon,
shitload of money.
yeah. From the dungeon, I draw power and bring it back with me topside. The man who reemerges can change anything on the surface.
Possibly.
Possibly.
You can certainly believe that's certainly a goal.
Yeah. Regarding myths, I like to think of it as the Simpsonization of everything, as in the show. Over time, everything becomes a reference of a shorthand, and the essence is lost.
I don't know that that's what's going. That is definitely a thing. I don't know that that's what's going on here. I really do think it's a like overinflated appreciation of realism, quote unquote.
It all came out of chaos as a perfectly acceptable ecological explanation in a fantasy world. Sure, demons coming out of the walls and shit like that. I understand that. You don't even have to sacrifice this for sci-fi. Think of the opening to Alien. The water was dripping up, for fuck's sake. Yeah. I'm having a goddamn good coffee despite it being 4 a.m.
There you go.
As you explore the dungeon explores you. Yeah. This whole portion of the video needs to be clipped out and put as its own video. Maybe we will do that. Yeah. But honestly, we're so behind on some of the video stuff we need to do. We still got to get Ryan's video out. That's probably not going to happen. Yeah.
We have to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I think
All
that's
right.
all we've got to say on that part of it.
I think we made our point.
Yeah.
So we agree with Basic Expert.
Yeah.
He was right. Everyone else who disagrees is wrong.
The fucking retard.
All right.
Here's a saying I made up. You probably think that a golden ship is the most valuable ship, or a ship made only of diamonds. But you know what the most valuable ship is? Friendship. Yeah. Fairyland can emerge into fantasy world in forests, beaches, rivers, etc. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Referring to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles RPG. Yep.
Yeah.
Have you ever slept, maybe dreamt? In that circumstance, you accept all kinds of absurdity implicitly as reality, contemplating that might enable you to approach the lodge and roleplay.
Yes, possibly. The drive of your purpose and strength. Or maybe it's the OG Wicker Man. The OG Wicker Man, I'm assuming you're talking about the movie. The original Wicker Man with Christopher Lee is awesome.
The one with Nicolas Cage is awesome too.
In a totally different
completely
and terrible
different way. Yeah. God
So-
damn it, let me scroll, you fuck. Postmodernism has deconstructed the hero myth to death. It's lost on most modern minds. Correct.
Indeed.
Which sucks.
All right. I think we caught up.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much caught up. We skipped a bunch in the middle, but yeah.
Unsurprising.
Basic expert win. Yeah, many such cases. Get wrecked, haters. Spontaneous generation was canon reality until the 19th century. No one really needs to know where the new monsters came from.
Mm-hmm.
Pebble Sucker and I stole the chat for a bit, but damn if the conversation wasn't fire.
Good.
Good.
If you can take it, you own it.
Yeah, exactly.
Reddit is cancer. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Shonner.
Sup, bruz? How's it going, Marky X? Good to see you. Reddit is a cancer depending on the subreddit.
It's all various
Yeah.
stages of the disease.
Cancer all the way down. Axe sounds like you can have some brutal combat in it. Is there hit locations? No hit
No.
locations, but there is a mortal wounds system that is very fun.
That is true.
And tampering with mortality, which we've had to do a couple times now. Our assassin
Yep.
has died and been resurrected twice. The second time he came back, he sprouted angel wings,
Yeah.
but his bones were hollow when he came back, and his constitution was cut in half, and he takes double damage now from bludgeoning and seismic damage.
Yep.
That's what you get for tampering with the natural order.
Yep. Well, we'll see if he feels it's worth it.
Yeah. It helps if it feels that there's some liminality to the threshold of mythic places, the border between the mundane and the weird. Yes.
Yeah, 100%. And there would be in like
Yeah.
a mythic world.
Yeah.
Not only from like societal taboos, but you know, there would be a palpable threshold. You're going into a place that is not of this world.
Yeah.
One way or another. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
I think we
we got about 10 minutes left.
Oh, do we really?
Yeah.
Oh, my watch is ahead.
Yeah, 10:19 is what I got.
Oh, you're right.
So if you guys got any questions or anything you want to talk about, we got a couple more minutes, but if that's it, it feels like we got to the bottom of the chat.
We solved the issue
We solved the issue.
once and for all.
Come on. There we go.
All right. From Kettle Hat. Oh my God, fine. I'll watch Twin Peaks. Fuck.
Yeah, do it.
You should.
Do it.
Please watch Twin Peaks. Everyone should watch Twin Peaks.
Yeah, for sure. How would the Mythic Underworld work in the grand experience and game known as Candela
it wouldn't.
Obscura? They have their own Mythic Underworld, actually, in Candela Obscura. There is a sunken undercity that existed. The city is called New Fair. That's on top. And it was in the Fairlands. I don't remember at this point what the Undercity is.
Wasn't
known
it just
as,
called
but
Old Fair?
I don't think it was called Old Fair. There was some name to it, but that was actually the cooler aspect of the game, was that there is this like haunted Undercity with all of this creepy corruptive magic that's seeping back up. Like magic basically destroyed this city like 1,000 years ago or something like that. And they've built over the top of it. And there is a literal other dimension that you can step into as well. That's where like the Candela Obscura puts away all, you know, the ghosts that they put in the traps and the stuff. That was actually some of the better stuff in it. Like there were some interesting setting elements to it.
Just not followed through.
Not followed through. The mechanics sucked, and it was the most propagandistic game I've come across. Like, so heavy-handed. And then like, I understand. Old city underneath ground, magic, bad, seeping up. That's cool. Coherent, makes sense. There's so much other shit in that setting that makes no sense. Because nobody knows about magic. And they wouldn't believe it, even if
though
you
it's
told
ubiquitous.
you. Yeah, even. But then it's like there are factions that are publicly using magic and trying to advance the cause of using magic. Like there's so much shit that was not thought through that makes no sense in that game. And this is why I'm getting mad about it again. This is why I'm getting mad. Critical Role could have hit a home run.
Yeah.
They could have hit a home run. They could have made a great game and become like this new huge player in like the publishing space and actually make something good. I want good things. And it was just so bad. So bad. There were a couple of cool things in it that I liked. But for the most part, holy shit. Just what a disaster.
We got a subscription.
Oh, damn. The chat got stuck again. Okay. Kettle Hat. In VTM, is it easier to introduce players who know nothing about the setting to a Camarilla game or an Anarch game, and why? Camarilla.
Camarilla, 100%.
Camarilla, 100%. Yes. How would you guys portray magic in a fantasy setting in a mythology in an evocative way?
I would look to Mithras.
Mithras.
The magic should be bound up inseparably with tradition, and not like institutional. These are the 7 schools
Yeah,
of
yeah,
magic
yeah.
because that's what was in like the Dungeon Master's Guide or what have you. Mithras's conceptual framework, which is accurate, especially in like an ancient world setting of cults and brotherhoods. Even if you are quote unquote the same class, let's say you have 2 wizards.
Yeah.
If I'm learning this sort of more organized, high magic feel, focusing on astrology and sacred geometry and all of these things, this is going to look the magic of another quote unquote wizard who is boiling monster parts
Yeah.
or getting secrets from summoned demons, through hallucinogenic smoke during black masses. Even if the mechanics are the same, I can't learn magic. We can't learn magic from each other.
Yeah.
These are incompatible, mutually incomprehensible ways of seeing this supernatural aspect of reality. So
Right.
tying something to a tradition and to its people is 100% the way to do that.
Where's the best place to watch Twin Peaks, or should I just buy the DVDs and Blu-ray?
It's on Prime Video.
Is it on Prime? Yeah, just watch it
Yes.
on Amazon if you've got that. But DVDs and Blu-rays always look beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You guys made a joke about rolling for potassium intake once, but yet here I am making mechanics for malnutrition, which that may be relevant to your game.
Yeah.
It's great when players get a strange sense of deja vu from the in-game dreams later on in the campaign. When is the warranted Candela Obscura hit piece part 2 coming? We already did it. We did 2 videos on Candela Obscura.
That's true, we did.
I did one on the mechanical problems and then one on the setting. It
Yep.
offered an alternative for a game that fits that tone exactly, that is much better, which is Wretched Epoch. So check that out.
Yep.
But and I didn't do it to make it a hit piece. I bought that game thinking I would make a review of it because it was going to be like a relevant
And
YouTube
that was your
topic.
initial opinion. It was
And-
like, this isn't really for me, but it's...
it was really more of like when I did my initial flip through, I was like, this seems like, it's Call of Cthulhu-ish, like investigative horror.
whatever,
Yeah,
yeah.
it seems fine. And I assumed that it was going to be a very competently made game. And then when I sat down and actually read it cover to cover, I was like, holy shit, this is like the worst thing I've ever fucking read.
Right.
And I need to warn people. Like, it's bad. It was. I was very pissed at how bad it was, and it was
It's way more than just a propaganda, like, woke thing. It's
no, it's so much worse than that.
because that's the thing. It's like most, like,
The
quote
fact it
unquote
was
woke things are well engineered today. Not this.
It was so bad because it was both. It was
Yeah.
like it was just terrible
This was
as a game,
legitimately bad,
and
and-
it was just propaganda. I was just like, oh man,
Yeah.
It was really bad. Yeah. I would say Camarilla since the ones, yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
Camarilla is correct.
Play Camarilla. It can also just be Mirkwood, a cursed forest where nothing makes sense and trails disappear on their own. Sure.
Right. That's basically.
Yeah.
That's not a mythic underworld per se, but that's like. It's an alternative place. Like like the world of fairy isn't a mythic underworld.
Right.
But it's another spiritual realm, and that's basically what Mirkwood is, especially in certain areas of Mirkwood.
I don't think Critical Role could have hit a home run. They could have.
Yeah, I mean,
They could
it
have.
did not have to be this bad.
It didn't have to be this bad. It really didn't. Isn't Daggerheart supposed to be their big game? It is supposed to be their big game.
And not that I've been following it, but I haven't heard anything about that.
They post videos like dev diaries every once in a while.
Oh, do they? Okay.
But I don't
Again,
watch
I'm
them,
not-
and
I'm
I'm not gonna read it because I'm not
Yeah.
gonna subject myself to it. Because it's the same guy who designed Candela Obscura, who barely designed it, is designing that game. I've heard it's a lot crunchier, but I just have no desire after reading Candela to ever read another one of their games because what a fucking nightmare. It's also a horror game, but you should never make anyone uncomfortable when playing it. Yeah, that's another thing.
Yep.
They could if they invested enough money into a game writer and stayed the hell away and let the guy make a good game. I think Mercer could make a good game.
Probably.
Here's the thing. Like, everybody shits on Matt Mercer, and I don't care about all the dumb shit that happens behind the scenes and all the drama surrounding Critical Role. I don't care about any of that shit. But people, when they say that he's a bad DM, I think you're crazy.
Yeah, I think he definitely is. Now, obviously, a thousand people have said
of
it.
what he's doing.
Yeah, he's putting on a show.
Sure.
But it is clear that he
loves D&D.
He loves D&D. He is creative.
He is
and
creative.
I'm sure
He's very quick on his
if
feet.
he got him at your table for whatever reason, I'm sure it would be he'd make a great character or he'd run a good game.
Yeah. I think that 100%. And I think he probably could make a good game. He's made very popular settings. I don't know anything about them. Mm-hmm. We've had some subscribers who said his settings were actually pretty good. And you guys generally have good taste. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But
I won't be looking
the
into
Mercer hate is, I think, a little overdone. The Candela Obscura hate is not overdone.
Right.
But it's also the reason I will not be paying attention to this Daggerheart game.
Yep.
Candela Obscura is a riff on Call of Cthulhu, but apparently worse. It's way worse.
Way worse.
Yeah. What a magnificent failure. Yeah. I think a one-page RPG has more rules than Candela Obscura. Unlike this stream. What a magnificent failure, unlike this stream. Thank you.
There you go. Thank you, man.
Excuse me. My players have some PCs getting up to name level. Nice. They're getting ready to spelunk Demogorgon's prison. On each floor, the veil gets thinner and thinner. Looking forward to their incomprehension.
There you go.
Nice. Exactly. A mythical underworld dungeon underneath a city is a very simple concept, but an epic and extremely evocative one.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yes, very much so. I honestly thought they were making a Fisher's Price Call of Cthulhu. Didn't realize it was intended to be scary, especially since it's like impossible to die.
It is basically like that. Fisher's Price Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
For the Tiger Fund, the real Texans own Tigers for some reason.
The Tiger. Why did he say? He said Tiger. The Biden.
Well, he's doing his best.
He's doing it. He is doing his best. We do appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Mr. President. Daggerheart seems to be designed around the more casual playstyle that Critical Role was modifying D&D for. Yeah.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah. Which I don't care for.
Yeah. Because by definition, you're not taking it seriously.
Right. Critical Role was pandering to their audience with Candela, not the market. Yeah. I just found the second video. It got recommended to me, but I scrolled by any video with a thumbnail with Bradley Mulligan because 90% of the time it's clickbait for 20 minutes of dog shit advice. No. It's a good one. I think that was a good video. Critical Role has become a slave to their audience, yeah.
Yeah.
Draw Steel is the best game ever. Probably not.
It likely will not be.
Almost certainly is not, yeah. The issue is that Mercer is level of DMing that other people get held to. That is not the issue. That is what people say the issue is. I don't care what those people say, and I think it's a skill issue, and everybody should get better. Popular does not always mean good. Look at the Grammys. Very
that
true.
Is true.
Very true. But popular also, by the same token, does not mean automatically that something is bad. There's a trap that people fall into of like, oh, everybody liked it, it must be terrible. Right. It's like, that's not always true.
Not always the case.
Yeah, sometimes things are popular because they are good. Yeah. He's become the gold standard for DMing because people don't know good DMing anymore. Well, I don't think people ever knew.
Most of the people who are giving him the acclaim don't, like, literally just don't play.
Yeah.
Right? So, obviously, and it's really the only show, it's the only really the only consumer product about role-playing.
Right.
And it's the only show.
Right.
Obviously, he's the guy in that kind of a dynamic. If you had 15 different really popular shows on the TV, or on the internet that were live plays, it wouldn't just be Matt Mercer.
Right. Mercer does voices, so if you don't do voices, you are a bad DM. I know that's what people say.
It's more than that.
People are stupid, though, and I don't care about them. Critical Role started as a part of Geek and Sundry, and I know for a fact on their other RPG shows prior to Critical Role, the game sessions were largely scripted. I believe Critical Role is scripted for a large part. At least
It's
heavily
prompted.
outlined.
Yeah,
I'm
outlined
sure.
and prompted.
Yeah. I do think that they're improvising a lot. But I agree there is almost certainly a structure.
For sure.
Yeah. Playing catch up here in Japan.
Oh, wow.
Got to the start of the topic. Yes, I designed Neon Blood setting just enough to give you kernels to make it your version of the future, and people complained. Oh man, that sucks. Yeah. Yeah. Matt Mercer effect is not real. It's just an excuse for bitch-made DM who don't want to improve to justify their mediocrity. That is true. While true, it would not surprise me. That is one of the reasons there is a DM shortage. I just think that there's a DM shortage because people have been taught to do this like over-prepping storytelling. I'm responsible for creating content for everybody. Like you watch any one of these Dungeon Master advice videos out there, and it's literally like, why would anyone want to do this? This doesn't sound fun. This sounds fucking horrible and like it's a job.
Yeah, it's like it's a
And
weird...
players expect you to do that job. And that's why people don't want to do it. You know?
Right. It's like a strange manifestation of like your boomer dad. It's like it's like, yeah, it's grueling work, yeah, it's toil. It's like, but there's honesty.
Yeah.
In the struggle, in the
pain.
endless toil.
Yeah.
Like, no. Like that is many people have this outlook in all manner of applications in their life. We talked about this in one of our videos, but
the joy of role playing.
Yeah, it's completely wrong.
Yeah. The problem with Matt Mercer is that he's cultivated Critical Role fans and they're all insufferable.
I mean,
I don't blame him. I mean,
yeah, he's making his money.
Yeah, they have secured the bag, and that is you love to see it. Part of the DM shortage is because 5e draws in as many people as possible. Some of those people should not be playing these games because they're lazy and dreadful people who don't respect GMs. Yeah. DM shortage, in my opinion, is partially because most of the initial design effort and books of D&D are targeted at optimizers rather than onboarding DMs and teaching them how to practically run a game.
Well, also this so-called DM shortage, in as much as it exists at all, this is a 5e D&D problem.
That is it. Yeah.
Like, this is something that only exists within the ecosystem of like the normie consumers.
Yeah. There's a DM shortage because DMing D&D 5e effectively for a new DM is arduous. Yeah. Every player has expectations, has exceptions to the rules. There are tons of player options. The encounter design rules are unusable. So they drive away DMs by being insufferable. Seems like the only decent APs use Savage Worlds.
Oh, Adventure Paths?
Adventure Paths.
Maybe?
Okay. I don't know. The DM shortage is because corpo shills on YouTube perpetuate the idea that DMs are service providers. And the thing is, I don't think that they're just like perpetuating it as like, yeah, this is what we need to sell. It's like, I think they believe it. Like they believe that's their job because they will even talk about how they get burned out. Will there be a video on you playing D&D 4 if you're still going to? We played it. We've talked about it on the stream.
Yeah.
Our DM was in the chat earlier, John.
Yep.
Another thing that D&D 5e doesn't cater to is DMs. It caters to players. There's virtually no support for DMs. Actual play. Okay. Yeah.
Actual play. Yeah. But like again, it's like this is not your problem. In as much as this is a thing, it's a thing for people who are not like you. It's like we are not the same. If you are not playing D&D 5th edition with randos online or randos at your comic shop or gaming store, this is something that's completely alien to your experience. Obviously, it's going to be difficult to find people of like mind, really, in anything that you do. And other games that cultivate a more dedicated fan base or community are smaller, and therefore there's like a scarcity issue that you need to sort of fight through. But this DM shortage does not affect you one way or another. This is something that only exists over there.
Yeah. Just look at the amount of times the line "it's your job" shows up in those shitty DM advice videos. Yeah.
Work harder. I need you to come in Saturday to make the maps.
God, I know. Yeah. I did some time interacting with the online D&D community. The amount of people whining about needing tools who never read the DM's guide outside of the magic items is insane. They're lazy, full stop. That is true.
Yeah.
Because that is the thing. Like, people saying there's no like DM options. The DMG apparently for 5e is fairly good. But nobody reads it. Games and products generally seem to be made in a passionless way for the sake of product. Fan bases suck for that reason. I'm so over this irreverence and apathy trend. Yeah.
Pick a simple game. Play it light to start. Modules are great for this, and build up to the level of complexity you and your group want at a speed comfortable for you. Ease into it.
Yeah. Agreed. $10. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you,
Mingo.
man. It's very generous. Much appreciated.
Yeah. The answer is to stop playing D&D.
Yes.
Watsy's answer is AI DMs. D&D is going to diverge from the TTRPG space entirely, and not soon enough. I hope so.
Yeah.
I commend the Critical Role crew for stacking their bank accounts. Yep, nothing wrong with that. The opposite, in fact.
Make your money.
I agree.
I'm not gonna.
I am not ever going.
Yes.
Like when people.
He doesn't deserve that money. Like yes, he
Yes,
does.
he does.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
100%.
Yeah, he 100% deserves the money.
Yes.
5e supplement books try to cultivate the players and DMs. It's just that there's so much content for the DMs. It's just, well, duh. Yeah. All right. Anyway, we're about 10 minutes over, guys. So we're going to thank you very much for, we're having a lot of fun talking to you, but
Yeah.
Thursdays are a long day for us because we go for about 12 or 13 hours working. So we're tired. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Have
All
a
right, guys.
good night.
Take it easy. Oh,
shit. We got a super chat.
Whoa.
One right at the end.
In the last
can
minute.
have
The
the
last
first
second.
super chat. It's tough to have the last one. Jack, I'm the last to read the news, and one more thing. Shuff 'em up a football.
Thank you for the $5.
there you go.
Thank you, John.
He won the stream.
You won the stream. Now
Take
we're
it
going to
easy.
go smoke. See you later.